What's up, everybody? My name is Kookierot. Welcome back to the channel. And today we are going to be doing this little tier list here for some of the bigger shonen shows. I was scrolling around trying to figure out the tier list that I wanted to do for this one for a while. First I was tempted to do a live stream of one that was like 300 series or something like that, but I don't think I've seen enough series to actually make a video like that quite yet, or a stream like that. So I figured let's go with this one. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14 series to be able to talk about, right? Which is gonna makes things a little easier, you know. That way I can go a little more in depth on them. Hopefully this isn't gonna be too long. I actually did try to record this one time before this recording, and it ended up being like 45 minutes, and that's not the move. I'm not trying to keep you all there for too long, right? So S, A, B, C, D, I've already done the ones that I haven't seen or don't know enough. Most of these I've at least seen one episode of, except Shield Hero, Twin Star, Dead Man Wonderland, and Magi and Blue Exorcist. I haven't seen those yet, or Kakiguri. Eventually I'll get to all these guys, and maybe eventually I'll do a update video on this tier list specifically, on where I'd throw these guys, because that's a whole other separate video that I think will end up being pretty good. But Black Clover is so freaking long now that it's a little harder to justify not being the first one that I read after I'm caught up on a couple other shows, right? So really I'm just going to go through these one by one here. There's a couple that I want to save for near the end, where I've got a little more to say on the matter. Dragon Ball I think I'm just going to throw up there now. Look back at my older videos for the stuff about Dragon Ball, but obviously I'm keeping that at S tier. Great, now we're down to 13. So really, I mean, let's jump into it, let's do it, and we're going to start with Bleach here. So Bleach was one of the series that I started off pretty young with. It's one of my personal favorites. In terms of just nostalgic stuff. So, I mean, there's the fan of Bleach in me, and then there's the analytical watcher of Bleach in me. And they tend to clash pretty heavily, because the fan in me loves exactly what Bleach does. So, Naruto I've been doing a reread, so that's a lot more in my memory, so I'm able to talk about that one a little more and feel confident that I know what I'm saying here. Naruto, for me, I've got some controversial takes on Naruto, right? Out of the big three, it's probably my least favorite. I think that Naruto really suffers from being comfortable at where it's at. Like, once Kishimoto got the success with Naruto, I really think it did start to dwindle down. I think he ran the series on for too long and was trying to ride that wave as long as he could. And so what happened was, I mean, especially plaguing the war arc, but you see it a lot more with Sasuke than anyone else, especially because after he kills Itachi, he has no clue what he wants to do anymore, and that it's tough. It's really tough because now Sasuke's kind of over there like, well, I don't know what I'm doing here anymore. He's flipping sides and flipping what he wants to do, and it's just a mess. It's just a mess. So, what I will say that's really good about Naruto is that it's really easy to digest. I think you can put just about anyone into the beginning of Naruto and they're not going to dislike it. Maybe they might find it a bit odd or strange at times, but it's not like if you threw someone to watch like JoJo, or if you threw someone to even watch Gurren Lagann, right? Gurren Lagann's too flamboyant to even try that. JoJo, flamboyant doesn't even begin to describe it. Really, it's in the title. I mean, it's just fucking bizarre. So, I mean, if you're trying to get people into anime, I'd stick away from those two series personally, but I can personally recommend that most of these here, you could throw them into there and they'll probably not hate it. But especially Naruto. A lot of people are starting to hear about Naruto now than they did 10 years ago. So I think you can jump in and be like, hey, this is a fox kid, fucking orphan. He wants to be the leader of the village. But overall, I mean, its story progression is very natural. Everything links pretty perfectly with each other. But also in terms of the fact that there are consequences within each arc that ring throughout the series, and we'll get to One Piece on that one, because One Piece does that a lot too. But, like Bleach, Naruto does suffer from too much characters. And so, even not that, maybe it doesn't suffer from too much characters. I think Kishimoto just does not know how to write female characters, which kind of sucks, because, you'd hope that, like, with a cast like Naruto, there was going to be some waifus, and none of them are really top tier, dude. Like, you can't tell me that, like, Sakura or Ino or 1010 would be anywhere near the top of the list in terms of waifus for you. Maybe Tsunade, but not really anyone else in Naruto really has that top tier aspects. In terms of story, right? I mean, it seamlessly progresses through each arc, but I think the arcs dwindle in time. Some people even think that the Zabuza was peak Naruto, and like, if that's what you're calling the peak Naruto, why did you finish? Like, if you think that every other arc is worse than Zabuza, something went wrong. I mean, even most people would go with the Pain arc being their favorite, but that's only that's not even halfway through Shippuden, I don't think. So, I mean, now you're just kind of sitting there like, well, there's half a story left that doesn't work. Well, not even that it doesn't work, it's just kind of there. But, I mean, if peak Naruto is not even halfway through or just a little past halfway in the manga. You've still got 200 plus chapters to go through. I mean, that tends to drag. And I think the war arc really shows that, that you did not need 200 chapters to make the war arc good. I think the war arc could have been done in half those chapters, and you would not be missing a lot. Especially because it's just action on action on action. If you take away Kaguya, if you take away Obito's little idea and you just did Madara, or if you took out Madara and did fucking Obito instead, I'd give the warrant that Obito probably could have been the best final boss. Either him or Madara are pretty interchangeable in being the best one to kind of be the final showdown. Personally, I would have put it as Madara and given Night Guy the win and just ended it right there, but that's just me. So in terms of ranking, I think I'm just going to throw it in the B. I know I complained a lot, but I mean, Naruto's not bad. It's not as repetitive as Bleach. I don't think its characters are as stagnant as Bleach. I don't even think it looks as bad as Bleach at times, most of the time. So I think Naruto is solid in a B. SAO is hard for me to rank. SAO is hard for me to rank only because of the last two seasons. Because the last two seasons really impressed me. And while I think, what's his name? The fucking author of SAO, I forgot. Reki Kawahara. Reki Kawahara does not know I don't think he understands how bad sexual assault is. I think he's starting to understand, but I don't think he's there yet. which sucks, right? Because, I mean, SAO wants to be powerful, but it's like, it's a teenager trying to be edgy when they don't even know what the word edgy even means. So, like, SAO's it's a romance show, right? But then it's a battle shonen. But it also wants to be an ecchi, but it also wants to be a fucking harem, and it also wants to be, it's just, it doesn't, I don't think it knows. I don't think SAO knows entirely what it wants to be. But I think he finally figured it out in ordinal scale, and I think he's finally solidified it in War of the Underworld, because those two seasons blew me away. And that's weird saying that about SAO, because I had no expectations going into the last two arcs. Because, I mean, SAO left a bad taste in my mouth for most of its run. So now it goes over and decides, hey, let's instead let's get our shit together, and it does really well. I mean, fuck, SAO made me cry. I would not be able to say that about any other arc in SAO except for that arc. Those last two arcs. And even then, it's like only one episode in SAO actually made me feel something. So that's tough. But I mean, he learned how to write characters. Kirito got a personality. The romance doesn't feel stupid. I mean, sure, there's still errors. There's still glaring errors. But SAO, in terms of improvement, like, if I was just going off based off improvement from the beginning to the end and just the love that goes into it, SAO would easily be an S tier in terms of where it is now compared to Season 1. SAO is one of those shows that I think just got better over time. I mean, the first half of Season 1 is better than the first half of Season 2. And I don't think I remember enough about the later half of Season 1. So the first half of Season 1 is not as good as the later half of that season. And I don't think I remember enough about Season 2 to actually have an opinion on it. But I think that these like last 2 seasons just kept getting better as it went on. I think it's also because he took his time to really make sure that he knew what he was doing. If I were to make any guesses on what changed between those arcs, I'd probably say he either got a new editor or he actually invested in one. Because the trajectory that it was going in season 1, if that were to actually have been the best season, we would have gotten a really shitty show. Or not even a shitty show, but just a bad story in general. So, in terms of improvement, I mean, SAO is really up there in that. Of course, besides Kirito and Asuna, and now Eugeo and Alice, all the other characters are fucking bland as shit. I could not tell you the personalities of Kirito's harem and Balls Deep 69. Like, I can't tell you any of their personalities. I think they're all just wet for Kirito. Like, that's about it. That is their personality. Except for Klein. Klein's always been cool. So, I'll give him a pass for not developing, because why would you develop a character that's already perfect, you know? That's all that is. Maybe it would be controversial to put it in B. Do I really think that Sword Art Online is better than Naruto, though? Am I really going to die? I don't know if I want to die on that hill. I don't know if I want to die on there. Because I'd probably lose any credibility that I'd once have if I totally say that I think the Sword Art Online is better than Bleach and Naruto. In terms of entertainment, though, I'm more than happy to say that I think SAO is more entertaining than both of these shows combined. I think there's moments in Naruto and Bleach that are better than any moment in SAO, but I think overall, the slow parts in SAO aren't as bad as the slow parts in Naruto and Bleach, and I think it's just because the expectations in those two shows are too fucking high. I think that's kind of funny. I don't think I'm gonna die on that hill, though. I'm gonna throw it right there. I'll die on this hill. I'll die on this one. Hunter x Hunter. I forgot what I said for the beginning of, about Hunter x Hunter in the first take that I did for this. Discord might get me on Hunter x Hunter. I think Hunter x Hunter is very overhyped. I'm sorry to say it, and I'm sorry to Z, because I know he's going to watch this, or he's going to listen to it while he's at work. Hunter x Hunter is very overhyped. And I think it's a lot like Fullmetal Alchemist, and that it does not deserve the hype that it gets. I'd say the same thing about My Hero, but I think I enjoy My Hero too much to actually say that I think it's overhyped, because I'm part of the one that hypes it. So, that's not to say Hunter x Hunter's bad. I think that Hunter x Hunter, objectively, is a very well-written story. I think its characters are all fun. I think its villains are even more fun, even though sometimes it can be a little stagnant. I could not tell you why I should care about Carollo. I cannot tell you why I think I should care about Carollo. I think that in terms of trying to be the final boss of Hunter x Hunter, we don't know enough about him. I don't think that we've seen him enough to actually say that he matters enough to be like the big bad at the end. Granted, I don't even know if Hunter x Hunter is going to have a big bad at the very end of the show. I'm just saying. But I don't think it's mid either. I don't think Hunter x Hunter is mid. I'm willing to die on the hill. I'm willing to go on a limb that Hunter x Hunter is overhyped, and I think that it's more boring than people lead it to believe, especially because it took me like 5 tries to actually get through all of the Chimera Ant arc. For people saying that it's the best arc, I think people are very sold on its high moments and don't remember that its lows drag on for so long. Hunter x Hunter is, when it's at its best, I think it's better than any show here. But at its low, I mean, it's C tier. Hunter x Hunter's lows are C tier. It's average. Hunter x Hunter, I guess, for me at least, drags too much to warrant it being an S tier. But also in terms of the fact that it's not my type of, it's not my favorite thing in the world. I think after Greed Island, I mean, it's like, there's the fast arcs, and then it drags, and then it's another good arc, and then it drags. So it goes like the Hunter exam is fine, and then Killua's little saving arc is eh. And then Heaven's Arena is fine. And then, what's after Heaven's Arena? Yorknew. Yorknew's fine as well. Those two are really good. And then the auction. The auction was pretty boring. And then Greed Island, which is my favorite arc, so I thought it was a lot of fun. And then the Chimera Ant arc dragged on, but had some really cool moments. And then the election arc, I think, is after that. And I want to say it was slow because I don't remember a lot about it. That's all there is to it. Hunter x Hunter's fine. I'd throw it an A. I think that its highs outshine everything on this list except for Dragon Ball, but its lows are definitely keeping it down. And I lost all credibility. Let me explain myself here. One Punch Man is a great show. One Punch Man is phenomenal, and if you're looking at Season 1 specifically, I think it is, without a doubt, one of the best shows to come out of this century's anime whatsoever. Since the inception of anime, I think One Punch Man does so well. That being said, it should have ended at Season 1. Because Season 2 drags. And while I love it, and I will forever love One Punch Man, I cannot sit here and say that I think that One Punch Man does not deserve an S-tiered ranking. I think the characters are all well developed. I think the story and what they're trying to tell and the psychological questions that are posed are absolutely brilliant. There's not a lot that I can say that I don't like about One Punch Man. I don't even think there is a thing I can say I don't like about One Punch Man. Maybe the Season 2 looked a little bad. But even then, like, I knew what was going to happen in Season 2 because I read the webcomic. I knew what was going to happen in Season 2 because I was keeping up with Yusuke Murata's fucking adaptation of the webcomic. And even still, I don't think Season 2 is that bad. One Punch Man, especially with Saitama, and the question on what happens to humanity when you're the strongest, I mean, you can't tell me that doesn't fascinate you, or why Saitama is the way he is. One Punch Man is a dissection of not only shonen tropes, but superhero tropes. And that's so good. And I love that it does that. One Punch Man, to me, personally, I enjoy more than Mob Psycho 100. I think Mob Psycho 100 is probably the better written series. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I totally think that Mob Psycho is the better written series. I think One Punch Man is just a better series in general. To me. You are more than welcome to disagree, and I am more than happy to discuss this in the comments section. But One Punch Man, to me, trumps Hunter x Hunter, Naruto, SAO, Bleach, and Mob Psycho. Mob Psycho would definitely be a close second, though. I mean, it is inches away from being at the same level of One Punch Man, in my opinion. So, I'm going to try and speedball through some of these. Assassination Classroom, A. It has a ton of characters, but I think it does really well to focus on almost all of them. It's been a little bit, so that's subject to change. I should watch the series again. But right now, from what I remember off the top of my head, Assassination Classroom is really fucking good. Attack on Titan, I'm throwing in B. It's slow, but it's so well written. The characters are all absolutely incredible. They're so well developed, so fleshed out. And I mean, in terms of all the series here, I think it's the most grounded. I think it's the most realistic. I think that the OST especially and the anime adaptations really elevate the series for a whole lot of people. And I think that Attack on Titan absolutely deserves the hype that it gets and so much more. Because Attack on Titan, to me, is just... I think that Attack on Titan deserves every ounce of love that it gets. And while I'm not all caught up yet, I've only watched the first season, I think that it more than likely only gets better from here. Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. I rewatch this basically every year. I love it to death. I love its message. I love its characters. I love its animation. Even now, I think it's like 10 years old, even older than that. It still holds true as Gainax's, one of Gainax's best work to ever pop out of that studio. I think it's Evangelion, but a lot more focused. And Gurren Lagann is really fucking good at that. It's memorable. Its quotes are absolutely phenomenal. I mean, like, who the hell do you think I am? Shit like that, right? I mean, dude, I'm gonna actually screw the time. Let me tell you a whole story. So, I went to go watch Promare in theater with a friend, right? And so we were sitting down, we were gonna watch Promare, and I didn't know that these were the guys it was made by the guys that made Gurren Lagann. So, or the director actually is from Gurren Lagann. So I'm sitting down, right? And the movie starts and it's showing all the studios that worked on it, and the fucking Trigger animation comes in, showing off like Trigger Studios. And this one guy up front, and he was so funny in the movie theater. I don't think I'm ever going to have an experience like this again. But this man just screams, "Who the fuck do you think we..." Or not who the heck fuck, but who the hell do you think we are? And then, as it's showing the trigger, and I'm just like, yeah, bro, you fucking go. You take that, man. You own it. Because, I don't know, I thought it was entertaining. And, again, I don't think I'm ever going to have a movie experience quite like Promare. And maybe eventually I'll do a whole segment on why I think Promare is just so good. Sure, it looks like Kamina. Sure, the main character is a lot like Kamina. But don't let that stop you from watching that movie. If you haven't seen it, watch it. But that's story time with Kookierot. That was so good. It was such a great moment. And I wish that I would have, maybe Demon Slayer might have something like that in the theater. When that finally comes into North American theaters, hopefully there's an experience like that, because that's so good. Fairy Tail's trash. If there was the tier lower than... Actually, we'll make one just for Fairy Tail. Oh, I didn't even name it. There. Fairy Tail gets its own thing. Trash. Seven Deadly Sins, I think that it was fine, but it's a lot of wasted potential on gags. It's a whole lot of fun. I think that the first 2 seasons do really well, but there is absolutely no way that this final season is going to live up to any expectations, because season 3 shattered them all. Meliodas went from one of the better main characters to being one of the absolute worst. The team dynamic is no longer there. The love interest, Elizabeth, is not even a character. And it's disappointing. It's a lot like Fire Force in that regard. Seven Deadly Sins is a very disappointing show. I mean, it's so hard to say why I think it's so disappointing. And, I mean, I watched the series twice. And the first time I thought it was really good, and I watched the second time, and just there's something about it that just rubs me the wrong way. Like, it really rubs me the wrong way. I think Perfect Time is a great insert song. I think that Hawk is hilarious. But no, it's not as good as people think it is, and I think people are starting to realize that the writing in season 3 has been there since the beginning, and that people weren't paying attention because it looked pretty. So yeah, that's that. My Hero Academia. Here's where I'm gonna get a little flack from Discord. Overall, I think My Hero is better than all of these guys here. I think it's more entertaining. I think that the payoffs, especially in this current arc, make everything worthwhile. The characters are a lot of fun. The only really complaint I have is that I wish they'd flesh out a little bit of the bigger side characters. I wish they do more with the main love interest, fucking Uravity, Ochako. I wish that they do a little more with her. I wish that Bakugo would start atoning for his sins, and I think he's starting to do that, so that's really good. No, but My Hero keeps popping out with banger chapters, and it's only getting better. If you were to ask me like 2 months ago where I'd put it, probably somewhere around there. But after the war arc and just everything that's happened, I think A tier is definitely the place for it to be. Yu Yu Hakusho, I think, is also better than Hunter x Hunter. I think that it's the better series. I think it's a lot more enjoyable than Hunter x Hunter. I think the pacing is a lot better. I think that the MC and the side characters are utilized to a higher advantage. I think that the opening... actually, I don't think I'm going to go that far. I don't think the opening's better than Hunter x Hunter. Departure is too good. But I think the dub is better. I mean, Yu Yu Hakusho, I think there's a lot more to like, and I think there's a lot more to enjoy. I don't think Yu Yu Hakusho's highs are quite as good as the highs in Hunter x Hunter. But I think the action sequences in Yu Yu Hakusho are a lot more fun. I also think I don't even think this is a hot take, so I'm just gonna say it anyway though. The art in Yu Yu Hakusho is a whole lot better than Hunter x Hunter in terms of the manga, but the anime is I'd probably give it to Hunter x Hunter. I mean, even if you're looking at the same like time period, right? If you're looking at the 90s anime, I think it still does better than Yu Yu Hakusho, which is fine. I think Yu Yu Hakusho should have had the better adaptation. I would have rather had a Yu Yu Hakusho 2011 than a Hunter x Hunter 2011. But that's just me. I mean, Yu Yu Hakusho is a lot of fun. Watch it if you haven't. If you disagree with me, then tough tamales, because I'm right and you're wrong. So, One Piece, great world building. Great world building. So much callbacks to previous stuff. So it's so much payoffs that they set up in the beginning of the story. There's a reason that it's number one in most people's books. There's a reason that it's the number one best-selling manga in the world. I mean, One Piece is truly a one-of-a-kind story. One Piece is truly a one-of-a-kind type of thing that you are never going to get anywhere else. Most of these follow the same kind of structure. I mean, it varies, right? But One Piece is so much different from anything here. I mean, the Straw Hats are all great. The antagonists are all wonderful, except for the guy from Skypiea. But One Piece is definitely up there. And in terms of the big three, I definitely enjoy One Piece the most. I think One Piece is the best written story. I think that One Piece has the best characters. I think it's got the best soundtrack. I think One Piece has the most potential out of all of them, and I think that it utilizes its potential to its advantage. One Piece overall is just so good at everything about it. And putting it at S tier was a no-brainer. There is absolutely no way. And one of these days, I 1000% am going to do a long video on why One Piece is in fact the best of the big three. But anywho, this video was fucking long as shit, so I'm gonna probably just end it here. With that being said, guys, here's the tier list in its entirety, in its order. We will eventually do a update on this list once I've seen all of these guys here. So expect the update within 3 months. Because after I catch up on Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm just going to go in order on what I have right here. So expect the first update to have Blue Exorcist. Other than that, guys, please make sure to rate, comment, tell me what you thought. Do you agree? Do you disagree? If you do disagree or agree, what parts? What would you guys rate these shows? And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, because there's a lot more tier lists to come. There's a lot more videos to come. And this is just the beginning, you guys. All in all, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And I will catch you all in the next video.